All right, today we're going to start chapter 35 in social studies. Today we're going to do 35.1 and 35.2. Before we start reading, though, you need to have your ISN pages out. On page 241, we're not going to do anything with the preview, so you can put a line through that. But the key question is, how did wealth affect daily life in the Roman Empire? So by the end of the chapter, you want to make sure you can answer that question. On page 242 in your ISN, the key content terms, the vocabulary, forum, rule of law, paterfamilias, Colosseum, and Circus Maximus. So those are the key terms that you want to know as well. So key question is on the front here of this page, and there's a map at the bottom that shows you all the roads that interconnected to connect Rome together. And that's pretty important because Rome was very accessible to everyone and to each other. So here's the introduction. In this chapter, you'll explore the daily life of people living in the Roman Empire at the height of its power around 100 CE. All roads lead to Rome, boasted the Romans. For thousands of miles, road markers showed the distance to Rome. But more than roads connected the empire's 50 million people. They were also connected by Roman law, Roman customs, and Roman military might. If Rome was the center of the empire, the Forum was the center of Rome. The word forum means gathering place. The original forum was an open area used for merchant stalls and for viewing races, games, and plays. In time, the forum became a sprawling complex of government buildings, meeting halls, temples, theaters, and monuments. This was the heart of life in Rome. In this chapter, you will visit this bustling center of Rome's vast empire. You'll learn about 8 areas of daily life in ancient Rome and discover how life differed for the rich and the poor. And I'm sure you can make some predictions about how life differed because we've studied this throughout Greece, Rome, Egypt. Okay, 35.2, daily life in ancient Rome. If you had visited Rome in the 1st century CE, you would have seen a city of great contrasts. Now, there's a test question about this, so be ready. Nearly 1 million people lived in the empire's capital city. Rome was full of beautiful temples, stately palaces, and flowering gardens. Yet most of its people lived in tiny apartments crammed into narrow, dirty streets. In the city's forum, or public gathering place, wealthy Roman women shopped for goods, accompanied by their slaves. Proud senators strolled about, protected by their bodyguards, while soldiers marched through the streets. Merchants and craftspeople labored at their trades. Foreigners roamed the streets from such faraway places as Britain, Spain, and Egypt. And in the midst of it all were Rome's slaves, hundreds of thousands of them, many of them captured in war. People and goods flowed into Rome from the 4 corners of the empire. Wealthy Romans spent great sums of money on silks, perfumes, jeweled weapons, and musical instruments. They decorated their homes with statues, fountains, and fine pottery. But the rich were only a small part of Rome's population. Remember, it was a very small percent that was rich. Most of the city's people lived in filthy neighborhoods filled with crime and disease. Their children were lucky to live past age 10. To keep the poor from turning into an angry, dangerous mob, Roman emperors gave away food and provided entertainment, such as gladiator contests and chariot races. The empire had many large cities, but most people lived in the countryside. There, too, most of the people were poor. Some worked on their own small farms. Others labored on huge estates owned by the rich. And here's a picture there. The area known as the Forum was the heart of Rome's business, government, and religious life. All right, so if you look at section 35.2 in your ISN, they just want you to list, again, bullet points is fine, 2 ways that life differed from the rich and the poor people. So 2 things that the rich had and 2 ways that the poor lived. Okay, so list those down, and that is all we are doing for today.